Hey everyone, this is Mr. Mac. We're going to go over Regents Review number 7, talking about a lot of angle relationships. Um, so what we're going to focus on with this assignment, we're going to see a lot of instances where we might use triangle sum. So when you have triangles, those angles add up to equal 180. Any quadrilateral, the angles add up to equal 360. We'll also look at parallel lines and transversals, so we'll talk about some alternate interior angles, which are congruent. Those are some examples that we'll discuss in this. But again, some of the biggest things, making sure you label pictures, whether it's given congruence marks, label the test, and fill in any information you can, especially on short answer questions, but on multiple choice it's just as important. So we're going to take a look at question 3 first, which is right here on the front page. So they got a parallelogram, FRED, and then they have ED extended to A, and AF is drawn so that AF is congruent to DF. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to label AF and DF is congruent. And one thing I see a lot of my students doing is when I tell them to read a question, they kind of stop right here. They read this, and then a lot of people forget to see if there's any information below the question. They usually split those questions with images into 2 parts. So you want to make sure you do and read and label anything that you can. So we got R is 124. AFD, that's our X value, so I'm going to label that one X right there. So we got to get over to angle X. And it says it's a parallelogram. So a couple things that are true is that opposite angles are equal. So like this would be 124. Consecutive angles are supplementary. So that means that these 2 angles are going to be 56, because like we talked about, there's 360 total. And the other part is we're going to see another supplementary pair, because it's extended to A, so we have a line. So that means that this angle here is 56, because these 2 angles together are supplementary. And then because now we have 2 congruence marks, well, we got one angle of 56, that means that this angle, because the sides are the same, the angles are going to be the same. So now we can use triangle sum to help us fill in what that X value is. So you can take it from there on that question, but again, you can see all the labels I did. And again, I'm trying to explain the reasons for it so that you can kind of come up with what the answer is going to be. So let's move on to another question. So let's take a look at 5. And again, we got a parallelogram. So a lot of the stuff we just talked about is going to be true. Opposite sides and angles being congruent. We got an intersection point. So like I know right now I got some vertical angles that are going to be congruent as well. So we got angle S is 60. Well, I'm going to go ahead and label this angle Q as 60 also, because the opposite angles are equal. SRT is 83. So now I know that this angle here is 83. PWU is 35. So wait, I know this is 35 right here. Well, I know that this one's going to be 35 also. They want us to find angle WVQ. So WVQ is going to be this angle. So I know a couple things right now. Well, I know that if these are 60, then this angle right here has to be 120. So that makes this angle 120 minus 83, which is going to be 37. Sorry if you can't see that as clearly. I'll write it over here. 37 degrees. We know this one is 35, so now I got another triangle. So 37, 35 is 72, which means this angle here is going to be 108. And then again, I got the angle that I'm trying to find X is going to be supplementary with this angle. So we're going to have 180 there. So In this case, that one, C, is going to be 72 degrees. So again, I mean, you can see all the labels I'm doing. That's the biggest thing. That's the biggest thing I want to focus on as you're looking at these questions. Okay. Now we're moving on to question 12. Okay. In 12, it says in triangle FGH. Well, I'm looking at the paper. I don't see triangle FGH, so I'm going to draw in triangle FGH. It says angle F and angle H are equal. So I'll mark those. GF is x plus 40. HF is 3x minus 20. And GH is 2x plus 20. So they want us to find the length of GH. Now, we have two options here. We could, if we wanted to, set GF and GH congruent to each other, equal, because they're both across from opposite angles that are, or angles that are equal. So it's an isosceles triangle. Or you could take all three, add them all up, and set it equal to 180. So you find x. Just be careful. It says the length of GH. So if you find x as a number, that's not going to be the final answer. You got to plug it in. Okay. So we're going to look at one more question. Question number 13 now. And we talked about, those alternate interior angles, vertical angles we can come up with. So like in this case, I'm trying to figure out what the relationship is with angle 1 and angle 2. So, if I have alternate interior angles or vertical angles, like these ones are vertical, okay? Well, I have an alternate interior angle here, and then a vertical angle there. So if you notice, I have angle 1 marked, angle 2 not marked. So in that case, angle 2, this angle here, if I double mark it, would be the same as this angle here. Those are corresponding. So that means that these are going to be a supplementary or a linear pair. So I'd want to set these equal, in this case, by adding them up, set an equal to 180. So, and again, all these labels are pretty important when it comes to the questions dealing with angles. It helps you see a lot of the relationships. So I hope that helps with these questions, and if you have any other questions, ask me in class.